BTP, Big Business Technology for Small Business.
Hi, it's Michael Jenkin here from BTP. How are you? I wanted to touch base with you all, and it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so I hope it comes out right and looks all the right way around. I want to talk to you about something fairly serious called Log4j or Log4Shell. You will see emails from us and probably other vendors and all your suppliers, and it'll be in the news. It's a fairly major thing. This whole Log4j thing is basically setting the internet into a bit of a meltdown, and IT companies like us are starting to get a little bit freaked out by it, and obviously not meaning to, but we're going to freak you guys out as well. But why? What's going on? What is this thing? What's happening? Log4j or Log4Shell is just the name of an application, a tool, something that software writers use. It's just something that it just exists. Just think of it as Microsoft Office, it's Word, Excel, it's a product, it's something out there. As developers, they use this tool, they bundle it into their own program to do various things. So what's it all about? Why is it a threat? And what's going on? Now you'll have to forgive me, I have notes, so I'm going to look down every now and then. Now, if you haven't heard about it, you will, if not from us, from somebody. I want you to know that we're working on it, and so is all the other IT companies in the world and vendors and things like that. We are actually logging into servers and checking them out. We're also going to make appointments to log into people's computers and check them out. And potentially you're also going to have to worry about what you've got running at home and what your computers are doing there as well. But what can we do about it? Well, at the moment it's limited to us working out what's affected, what's not affected, who's got it installed and who doesn't, which means we're checking servers out to see what's installed, what's being used, and looking for telltale files which indicate that it might be there on that server or device. So we're working hard on it, and we literally have thousands of computers to go through, and not just in this state. We've got multi-state involved here, so there's a lot of work ahead for us and possibly some sleepless nights. Now I want to talk to you about a few things. Why is this so important to you as the business owner or home user, whatever you may be? How does it work? What does it actually do? Why do you actually care about it? What's it going to do to you, your day-to-day life? What could we do to prevent it? And what are the further things we're planning to do? Right, well, first of all, this tool, this is a very important issue, I should say, because this tool is extremely common. It's very, very common, which is very obvious from the huge list that keeps getting added to every minute of what product's been affected. It is so common that pretty much it's going to be on your computer. We just need to find out where it is and make some changes. It's everywhere, and it can lead to very bad things. It's not just one of those things that, hey, Microsoft will patch and it's all good. No, this is very serious. It's in many places, and it can lead to hackers doing some very, very bad things to your systems. It could be ransomware, it could be malware, stealing your bank details, it could be anything. This tool opens up the world to the hackers to have their way with all your systems. So no matter how small or large your business is, this is a threat to you guys. Hackers don't really care how big or small you are, whether you've got one server and 1,000 PCs or whether you've got home PC, they don't care, because they're running automated tools that are a bit like a scattergun approach. They fire it off in a direction and it just goes and hits lots and lots of machines all at once. And of course, it's going to get the innocent people and business owners. It's going to get everybody. The root cause of this software is a thing made by a company called Apache. It's called Log4j. And what its real job in life is, it records logs. It tells people, the developers, what your experience with a program is like. It records errors. It records things like logon information, security information, when you last did an update. It just records logs. So it sounds pretty basic and it sounds pretty non-scary. It's just doing its thing and making sure developers can see logs about what's going on. This tool that they use is especially related to Java tools. Java being the same thing that makes a lot of applications on mobile phones work, but it also makes things in browsers work. It's a very common little tool. And unfortunately, developers can take this tool and plug it into their own applications. So you might have an application you didn't know is running anything to do with Java, but in the back end, the developer thought, I like this Log4j, it looks really good. I'm going to plug it in and make it work with my program, and you don't realize it, but you're actually using it. So it's not just Java apps that it's going to affect. Now, it's affected some pretty big names. I'll shout them out. Apple, they're a pretty big name. IBM, Twitter, Tesla. You've got all sorts of things, including it's gone as far as Steam. And anybody who's on Christmas holidays at the moment with kids at home playing games using Steam, yes, Steam has been affected, especially Minecraft, the online version, which Microsoft have released patches for. Anyone familiar with Minecraft knows you can send messages to and fro between players. You can use that messaging system to hack a system. So it's pretty major. It's this particular issue we've also found out is in many security tools. So that firewall you bought to protect your home or business could actually have a problem. That antivirus product you're running could have a problem. So we've been going through checking what people have got, what software versions we can update, and make sure that you don't have that problem. It's even been found in power protection tools. So those things called UPSs, big batteries that back your server up when the power goes off, they've been found to actually have Java running in the back end, so people can log in and check the status of the batteries, and some of them have got the problem as well. Now, the biggest issue with this particular flaw in this software, it's very, very, very easy for a hacker to hack you with it. It's so easy, you could be your first day as a hacker and you could find out how to run it on this tool and bang, you're a hacker and doing it. It is really simple, and because it is so simple, it has shaken the IT industry because we just didn't realize it would be that easy to hack somebody. But yes, it's very simple to use. It's very unsophisticated, I've got written here. So what do they do? Well, this logging tool has the ability that if somebody types into it a web address, you can make the logging tool go to a website which probably has something malicious on it to download. It will download whatever's there and run it on the machine that ran the code. So if you can imagine your server and a hacker gets access to it and types in just a very simple web address and pushes go, and the server downloads this malicious software and it runs it, and it doesn't have any security alerts going off, it doesn't need passwords or usernames, it doesn't need anything. It'll just go ahead and do it. And because the logging tool is running, there's no administrator to log in to start the logging tool, it's there, it's running. So this thing then jumps on your server or your workstation or your home machine, wherever it attacks, and away it goes. Now, we all know that surfing the web's not safe. We know that different web addresses can download things like keyloggers, which record your keystrokes, or go through your passwords looking for banking details, or lock your servers and workstations up using ransomware and target you for big ransoms. This is unlimited because they can point it to any web address, they can download any tool they want and pop it in there, and away you go. Everything's encrypted. Once they've done that, they can actually jump between machines on your network, they can watch what you're doing. There's so many things they could do. It's pretty scary. And because this can be done to devices as well, then it's not just servers and workstations and things like that we're looking at, it's all sorts of things that could be doing this. Now, because it's so easy, it's a bit of a shock. You got to ask yourself, why would an application need the ability to download like this? Even tools like MyOp, accounting, I don't know, Internet Explorer or Edge or whatever you're using these days, have updates, need updates, and constantly go to the internet and download and run things. Let's say that you have this fantastic new application you've purchased and there's an update for it and it's got a new font in it or a new image or something. This thing can go out there and download. So a lot of applications do download things as required into themselves and run them to make that application run better, smarter, or get rid of flaws or things like that. So this Log4j downloading and running things is actually quite a normal process, except this is just way too easy for hackers to get hold of, and away they go. So it's a bit of a shock because we don't really think it'd be that easy to do this. The other shock is this logging tool, unfortunately, has this feature turned on by default. So the logging tool is actively downloading and running things because by default, that's its process. It can be turned off, but it's not by default. So everywhere it's installed at the moment, it can download and let hackers in and do nasty things. So anyone who runs a web server and is cluey enough can fire off these little things and make things happen at your end and download and execute. So why are we so concerned about it right now? Because there's proof out there it's being done. It's not just that it can be done, it is being done. It has been weaponized, as they say. This thing is already scurrying around and targeting computers and workstations and doing all sorts of nasty things. So we've got malware and hacking coming out of it. We've got all kinds of things. You can imagine in a work scenario, you don't want your server compromised. You can imagine you don't want to be snooped on or watched or have your passwords gathered. You don't want it moving between your networks and doing horrible things. So what about the fix? There are so many devices and applications out there that are affected by this. There are things written by companies that no longer exist. There are products that have been orphaned. There's new versions of Windows come out, Windows 11, so no one cares about software written to run on Windows 7. So there's a lot of things that are legacy and old. It's going to take years to get rid of this completely. There's not going to be patches for everybody. And even a patch for one product isn't going to work for another, even though they're both using Log4j. The way developers use this product and they bundle it into their own program, it doesn't mean it's available or accessible to other products to be able to plug into it. So we have this problem. We have years and years of work to go to find all these things, trap all these things. And as I said earlier, the list of products that are vulnerable is growing every minute. There's huge amounts of machines to look at with a huge amount of products and titles out there that are all suspect of this issue. So there are patches coming for various things, and obviously we're targeting those that are very popular and well known. Us as a company, BTP, we've written our own tool. That tool is scurrying over servers looking for telltale files and signs of this thing. It's not perfect, but we wrote it really quickly. We sat down and just crunched away and got this thing out just to try and do something, because there's no way to know how we're going to have to protect ourselves in 10 minutes from now, because this list of software is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But we are doing something about it. We may be in touch with you to let you know that we're going to have to audit all the software on your workstations. We're currently reviewing servers, making sure they're not vulnerable, and we're going to have to discuss with you maintaining a list of what can be and can't be installed on your machines so that we know what's going on. And obviously when we find something we can turn off, it's going to be uninstalled. If there's no update for it, well, we're sorry, it's going to be uninstalled. We cannot take that risk that you guys are going to get hacked or cracked or whatever's going to happen with this. So we've been checking clients. You might see the bags under my eyes. We've been checking clients, we've been logging into machines, we've been doing all this, and it's going to continue. It's going to be a long process. Ask you to work with us, understand what's going on and why this is so critical, and that you may be a customer of ours, but we have lots of other customers as well. There are thousands of PCs to be checked. This is going to be a long-term job alongside everything else we do. You are going to receive email alerts from your vendors and products. Flick them through to us as well, so that we've got an idea of a new product that might be to add to the list. It just helps us with all our other customers, and they're doing it as well, so we're going to help you with what we learn from them. So share the information. Let's just try and keep a handle on this. So at the moment, this is very serious. It's a long list of what's vulnerable. You likely do have something on your computers. We've been checking clients against the telltale signs. We've got a lot more to check yet. And there are a lot of things that are unexpected popping up, things that we've discovered with a number of PCs. Just as an example, quite a few years ago with the ATO for payroll and things like that, we used to use a thing called OSKey. Well, believe it or not, OSKey, which has been left behind on various computers, is vulnerable. It's using the Log4j system. So we need to get that sort of stuff off. It's not used anymore, so it can go, but it's still installed. So there are a lot of things we need to check through and look at. So at this point, it's not a panic situation for all of you guys, because if you do panic, I'm sorry, but your urgency is just going to be added to everybody else's urgency. We're getting to you. We're getting to everybody. We're doing a lot of behind the scenes work. We're doing a lot of cleaning up. We're trying to get rid of this stuff, trying to upgrade what we can, remove what we can, and let you know along the way what's going on. A lot of sites, we're going to have to come out and see you guys. So that's what's going on, and that's why the internet is going a little bit crazy. As you can see, it's a software application that's everywhere. It's extremely easy to hack, which is what's scaring us all like crazy, and there's a lot of work ahead. So I wanted to fill you in, let you know what's happening. When you see an email from us, now you know what it's about. When you see this in the news, you know what it's about. And hopefully, working together, we'll get on top of this and it will all be done. So I want to thank you for sticking through this video. I tried not to throw too much jargon in, but as always, yeah, feedback's welcome. If you see this on YouTube, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you see it on Facebook, give it a comment and a share. Thank you very much and have a great day. And we'll see you maybe next video. Thank you.